Hello everyone. In this video we are going to show you how could we determine the risk-adjusted assets and the total risk. It is the solution of problem 2 from the worksheet of chapter 12. Let's start with the part 1 of this exercise. Given the following information for ABC Bank, we have to calculate the quantity of risk-adjusted assets. To determine the quantity of risk-adjusted assets, we need first to determine the risk weight. As discussed in the chapter, for each asset, we have a different risk weight. So, the risk weight for Volt Cash, for cash balances at District Federal Reserve Bank, and for the US government securities are 0%. So, they don't have any type of credit risk. Regarding the mortgage-backed bonds, they have a risk weight of 20%, home loans 50% because we have a collateral, which is the home. The corporate bond and the commercial loan have 100% risk weight. They have the highest credit risk among the other assets already mentioned. So, after determining the risk weight, we need now to determine the amount of risk-adjusted assets. So we need to multiply column number 1 by column number 2. So $50,000 times the 0%, so it's 0. 100 times the 0 is equal to 0. 250 times 0 is 0, and so on. At the end, we need to sum up these accounts or these amounts and to find the value of the risk-adjusted assets, which is $1,060. Now we're going to move to part 2 of this exercise. Assume that the $300 invested in the mortgage-backed bonds is in the bank's trading account. Once these amounts are in the bank's trading account, so they must have a market risk. So we have in this case not only the credit risk but also the market risk. So how could we determine the market risk? They are saying that the VaR, or the value at risk, and the specific risk for these securities are estimated to be $50 and $25 respectively. So question B, we have to determine the market risk equivalent assets. So, or similarly the market risk. To determine the market risk, we know that it is equal to VaR times 3 plus the specific risk times 4. So the $50 times 3 plus the 25 times 4, so it is equal to $250. Question B of part 2, determine the modified risk-adjusted assets. Modified risk-adjusted assets, which is also called the total risk. So in this case, we have the market risk and the credit risk. The market risk for the mortgage-backed bonds and the credit risk for other assets account. In this case, the first step must be to determine the adjusted value of credit risk weighted assets. So we need to eliminate the credit risk of mortgage-backed bonds from the total credit risk. So it is equal to the risk-adjusted assets that have been already calculated in the table in part A minus the risk value of the mortgage-backed bonds, which is 60. If you look back at the table and you see the risk value, or when we have multiplied column 1 times column 2 for the mortgage-backed bonds, we find that the risk value is $60. So the risk-adjusted assets, which is the $1,060 minus the $60, it is equal to $1,000. The second and last step is to determine the modified risk-adjusted assets, that is called the total risk. So now we have to sum up the adjusted value of credit risk weighted assets that have been calculated in the step 1 plus the market risk equivalent assets that have been calculated in part or question A. So it is equal to $1,000 plus the $250. It is equal to $1,250.